This Coast to Coast Entertainment Network program is brought to you by Beside Me Bracelets. Our bracelets are handmade for any occasion. Use the promo code Coast to Coast for 15% off. Visit their website at besideme.com. Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry. With 24-hour shopping available, use the code 160920 and show her some love, like she showed us. Reaper Apparel Company, a commitment to live your most authentic way every single day. Visit reaperapparelco.com for more information and a look at all of their apparel offerings. And by Good Day Embroidery, your local source for custom embroidery, screen printing, and more. Log on to gooddayembroidery.com for more information.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Coast to Coast Entertainment Network. I am Ace, and tonight you are watching another episode of Sports Minute. I know it's been a couple weeks, but we are back. Tonight I didn't want to miss another episode, even though my throat's a little raspy. I'm still okay. I'm good to rock and roll because I'm with my two co-hosts for the evening. We have number one, Mr. Big Game James. Mr. Big Game James, how are you doing tonight, my man?
You know, I'm good. Some of the NBA draft kind of surprised me, some didn't, but it was a lot of just foreign names and foreign players, and I'm still trying to, know them all, but it's going to take a while.
Okay. Then Mr. Crispy Bacon. Crispy, how are you doing tonight, my man?
I'm doing good. Mavericks didn't have a first-round pick.
Clippers didn't either.
But, all in all, doing good. Kind of like James, learning the names. It's kind of hard because they're so, far apart as far as like where they play. They could be overseas, they could be locally, they could be from the United States. So it's a big, wide range of players.
All right, I absolutely love to hear it. And of course, the Pistons have their typical draft where people talk up the player, and then he ends up not doing anything because it's the Pistons. All right. Going into our first topic, we do have some fun topics for you for the evening. Let's go ahead, and we're going to get into what I call one of the wildest. And James, that's okay if you don't agree with me on this, but I will say this is one of the wildest trades in a very, very long time that I've seen, because we saw that the Knicks are acquiring Mikal Bridges from the Nets, and they're sending Bogdanovich and five first-round picks to Brooklyn for Mikal Bridges. Now, we know that Mikal Bridges, he is an all-star caliber player. He hasn't been there yet, but he is an all-star caliber player. But I'm looking at this going, you know what? You're sending Bogdanovich and five first-round picks to Brooklyn. So basically, you're banking on your future here. Like, you're sitting here going, yep, that's okay. We'll bring in Bridges. Bridges will help us out. He'll make us contenders against Boston. But we'll see, because right now there's a lot of people that think because of the Bridges trade that this actually makes the Knicks contenders against Boston. But we'll find out. So, James, give me your thoughts. What do you think of this? Bogdanovich and 5 first-round picks.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's wild just because of the amount of picks that went the other way. I think Bridges has been in their group chat all this time as well, so it fits with all the Nova Knicks now that they're together. The crazy part is New Jersey, Brooklyn, whatever you want to call them, Nets haven't had a trade with the Knicks since 1983. I just found that out now, and it wasn't for much either. And this was something I think the fans wanted of the Knicks. Whenever this season, when they were in Brooklyn and the Knicks fans took over the Barclays Center, they were, begging for the Knicks, and they're, management to go trade for Bridges. They were, yelling for it, and it happened. And the Nets they knew, like, okay, you're going to give us everything you have, because the players want him there in New York with the Knicks, and then the fact that they're all Nova teammates there, all 4 of them now. So you knew there had to be a ransom for it, and the thing is, the Knicks, they weren't going to do anything with those picks anyway. They were going to use them for a trade, and Bridges, he's the Iron Man of the NBA for now. I think it's like 100 and I forget, but it's not as much as AC Green. Remember, AC Green had like years where he didn't miss a game, but I expect Bridges. What was this? He played in all 474 games in his career so far and never missed a game in college. Can you believe that? So he's on a streak right now, but with the Knicks and Tom Thibodeau, the coach, they play hard, they play tough. So I wouldn't be surprised if he gets hurt there with the Knicks. But he's trending to be an all-star. He was the best Nets player last year, and you just knew he was going to get out of there. Bogdanovic, they didn't really use him that much in the playoffs, did the Knicks. So it's kind of like, oh, that's okay. You can get rid of him. But the fact that it's an unprotected first round in next year's draft, 27, 29, 31, and then an unprotected pick swap in 28, that's just crazy to me. And then the Nets also get from the Bucks a top 4 protected 2025 first round pick. So remember that, from the Bucks. That also made the deal sweeter for the Nets. They need all the help they can get. They have a G League team there. Everybody's gone. And they also get a second round pick in 2025. So this is a good day for both teams, as the Knicks are trying to beat the top. They probably won't, though. The Celtics are so deep, and the Knicks just get hurt at the worst time. But with the Nets, it's like, okay, you got to hit on these picks. You cannot lose with these picks. It's almost like you think about this. When was this? July 3rd, I believe it was, of 2019. Kawhi Leonard wanted someone to join with him with the Clippers. And it took so many draft picks for the Clippers to trade to the Thunder for Paul George and 2 players. It's kind of reminiscent of that, but Bridges isn't as a star player as Paul George is. But yeah, it's a crazy, crazy trade. But you could just tell the Knicks are not going to ever need the picks because they have the veterans in place already. I do want to see what they do with Julius Randle if they want to trade him, because he's always hurt at the worst time. But I'm happy for Mikal Bridges because he gets to play with his college teammates again. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, but the one thing that I was going to bring up to you, James, too, is this makes me wonder if, like, the Knicks are banking on Nobi coming back, because we know that the Knicks are trying to, sign a Nobi to, like, a massive extension. And
they did, yeah.
What? No,
they did.
From what I read, I thought he didn't do it yet.
I read that he got the extension. So I was kind of shocked by that because they traded for Bridges and they re-signed OG and Anunoby.
Okay, so he did sign that extension then. Okay. Yes, he did. I just read, yes. He signed a 5-year, $212.5 million deal. So that's actually big, because you have to think, you have Robinson, you have Mikal Bridges now, you have Anunoby, you have Julius Randle, but again, you kind of go back to the part of what are they going to do with Julius Randle? I think they keep him. I think they do.
Nobody wants him.
You really think that the Knicks are going to trade him?
No, I don't think anybody wants him for the price that he has. for his contract, and the fact that he breaks down. So there's probably not a market for him, but I think they should. They played better without him. They ran better without him. Julius kind of slowed the offense down, and without him in the playoffs, they ran very well. They defended very well. It's kind of like he's in the way sometimes. So I wish they could, but I don't think they will.
Yeah, I just think that he's a big part of their
Was.
What?
Was.
Yeah. Yeah, you said was, but I still feel he is. And see, this is where this is where originally I was confused about the Anobi thing, so I'm glad that you brought it up and I was able to relook it up, because it was yesterday that it was reported that Anobi opted out and was set to become a free agent. And that was reported yesterday. So that's why when I saw that, I'm like, oh, he opted out. He's going to become a free agent. And that's why the Knicks went out and got Bridges. And potentially, to me, maybe that's why Anobi actually re-signed, because they went out and got Bridges.
Oh, yeah. I like the deal there. It just shows you that they're going for it. And they don't care about no picks. They're just going for it. I like what they're doing.
So, in your opinion, James, do you think that this actually makes the Knicks true contenders against Boston?
No. They would have Boston would have to have a significant injury, more than Porzingis hit him, in order for the New York Knicks to have a chance. With the Knicks, remember last year they barely got by the Pacers.
Yeah.
In 7 games, and then I'm sorry. The Pacers got by the Knicks in 7 games, and then the Pacers, you could just tell after those 2 games that they lost, they couldn't beat Boston. I think it just goes through Boston. I don't think they can beat them. No, I don't think the Knicks can as of right now. It would take a total collapse by Boston for that to happen, in which we saw Miami do it 2 years ago. It would take something like that, though.
Yeah, well, you can clearly see, like, going back to Boston for a second, you can clearly see that Porzingis injury didn't affect Boston at all.
Mm-mm. Too deep.
No, it didn't affect them at all. And so that's why I was a little disappointed in the NBA championship. I wish it would have been a little bit better.
Yeah, Chris.
Yeah,
Kyrie.
Your Mavericks forgot to show up. But
it's like the old saying, "You're there, but the lights aren't on."
Yeah.
That was
Well,
Mavericks.
The lights are on, but you're not home.
Well, I think going in anyways, I think everybody knew that it was going to be a tough hill to climb for Dallas. Dallas had a tough hill to climb. But
Edmonton kind of did it.
But
I know it's hockey, but still.
Mm-hmm.
Knicks in the way, like looking at the Knicks with getting Mikal Bridges now, does it put them over the top? It definitely puts them closer. It does put them closer, but I don't think that they can knock off Boston yet. I still think that they're gonna have to make 1 or 2 more moves, and they're getting there. They're definitely getting closer. This is a step in the right direction. All right, Crispy Bacon, what is your thoughts on the Mikal Bridges trade?
Yeah, I don't know if it makes them contenders. It's way too early to figure it out right now. The season ended a week ago. Now you have the draft. I mean, I know they start in October, but I still think it's early to figure out if they're contenders or not. It's gonna have to take time to figure out, but maybe they are.
All right, I'm still here. Sorry, I was reading a comment really quick that I wanted. It wasn't here, but it was a comment that somebody said that I kind of wanted to bring up for a second. That I'm gonna minimize this because it does deal with the NBA, and I kind of wanted to get your thoughts on this one too, because the person mentioned how Bronny James was not drafted in the first round, and rightfully so. And if you ask my opinion, rightfully so. Bronny James should not have been drafted in the first round. The only reason it's a big name because of what he is because it's LeBron's son. Bronny James does not have the numbers to be drafted in the first round. The only reason he was considered was because of who his dad is. So,
But I also think that if you didn't have his health scare, maybe he would have been drafted in the first round. Maybe not first overall pick, but somewhere in the first round.
I don't know. So far I haven't seen him as that first round guy. So James, would you agree with that? Do you feel like right now that Bronny James should have gone in the first round?
No. I watched whatever USC games I could this last year. Not only because Bronny was there, but just because I'm a fan of theirs and I knew the other players, and there was another freshman there that everybody was watching too. But the team underachieved, and Bronny did too. The fact that he's even in the draft is just puzzling, but it's just because of his dad. The numbers just do not constitute getting drafted whatsoever to me, or even like a G League stint too. It's just not. It's not right. What I would have liked, hey, play like 2 more years at USC, then hopefully you'll get better and you grow your body and you bulk up and you just become more offensively sound then he's a facilitator more than a offensive threat to me. He does have great hands, he does have great vision, but it doesn't constitute an NBA player as of right now.
All right, thank you for that, James. Crispy Bacon, do you feel like Bronny James should have been drafted in the first round?
I don't. I think, like you guys said, the only reason why he's even in the conversation is because of his dad. I think LeBron wanted Bronny to be number one overall, or at least in the first round. That didn't happen. But I think because of his dad, he's still going to get leverage to a team that maybe you don't face too often. But I think I don't know if he deserves to be in the draft. Maybe wait. But I think it's just purely on name.
All right, thank you. Now we'll go ahead and bring up the next topic that we actually had picked out for you tonight. The next one, we're going to be talking about Jimmy Butler. And the reason we're going to talk about Jimmy Butler is because we know that Jimmy Butler decided that he did not want to re-sign with the Heat as of right now. He did not want to sign with any team right now, and technically until the 2025 free agency starts. So because of that, I'm going to ask you, James, do you feel like Jimmy Butler ends up re-signing with the Heat? Do you think that Jimmy Butler made the right move by doing that?
Yeah. He just wants to be paid and he wants to be wanted. His story is crazy. How his mother left him when he was young, and then he just worked hard, everything he did in basketball, and then went on to college at Marquette, and then ended up being a Bull and moved around here and there. I think he wants to stay somewhere for once instead of being traded or going elsewhere. I think he wants to stay with the Heat, even though there's been conflicts with Tyler Hero, Spoelstra, the coach. I think he just wants to stay there. And the Heat, I think, are unwilling to part ways with him, too. That's what the reports are. They want to keep him around, and the buzz is with all the, insiders, everyone else is saying, oh yeah, they're not going to let him leave, and then he doesn't want to leave. He wants to stay with the Miami Heat. There is trade speculation as well, but I think he's going to play out his existing contract. He won't sign the extension. But I don't think he's gonna leave at all unless there's a huge just divide between him and the organization, which I know there's already been. Also with the Pat Riley, I think too there was words exchanged between those two. So he's alienated pretty much everyone in the building, and then everybody feels a certain way about him. But I think they can work it out, as crazy as that sounds. Without him, Miami is just back to, they're barely making the play-in now in the playoffs. Without Jimmy Butler, they're the Charlotte Hornets. They just have a bunch of little shooters. They're not physical. They're not tough. Without Jimmy Butler, he just fits the Heat culture, so to speak. So I don't think he's going to leave despite not signing the extension. I think he's going to wait until next season and then get into those talks.
So this is the thing, though, and this is really what I was thinking about, though. So you're talking about how Jimmy Butler just wants to be wanted. He just wants to get his money. He wants to stay somewhere long term, so he's not getting traded here and traded there, and going to all these different teams. My thing about it is that if he wants to feel wanted to stay on a team, I don't think that this is the way to do it. This is not the way to go about it, because I'm looking at this going, is he going to make it through a full season? At this point in time, I don't know, because if he's not getting along with Hero and he's not getting along with some of his other teammates, it wouldn't put it past the Heat to want to potentially trade him and get some good stuff in return. If you kind of understand what I'm saying there, James.
No, I know that, but it's just like professionalism kind of goes out the door. He likes to act out, but I think players accept it and coaches accept it. They just know that's Jimmy Butler, that's him. But he's a valuable asset to any team, so they want to keep him around. They do not want him to have a revenge tour against Miami, against them. So I think they'll do whatever they can to keep him around and make him happy. And, they're always in the talks of like trading for someone or signing a free agent. Getting rid of someone who he doesn't like. That's always a possibility. Remember, this is a league that has a lot of player control. Like the players control almost everything. And I hate that. But Jimmy understands that. He knows that. And that's why I just feel like, he's just going to continue with Miami. Again, he wants to be somewhere long term. And he does want to keep bouncing around, in my opinion. Kevin Durant is that guy who, keeps bouncing around, and it's just frustrating to watch. And I don't think Jimmy wants to do that again, despite all the conflicts in the organization with him and others.
All right, Crispy, what is your thoughts on this?
I mean, it's not right what he's doing. He knows that it's a player league where, there's ownership and all that, but the players, they kind of control the league, and he knows that what he's doing is right for the situation, but I think overall it's probably not a smart decision.
All right. But my question for you, Crispy, is do you think he ends up re-signing with the Heat, or do you think he just completely says, nope, I'm done, and then ends up signing with another team in free agency?
I think he'll sign with another team.
So you don't foresee him going back to Miami?
No.
Oh, you heard it right here first, James. Chris says he's not re-signing with Miami. He said he's going elsewhere in free agency. You heard it here first. You heard it here first, James. You heard it here first.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was away. What happened? I'm sorry.
Oh,
I said he'll be traded.
Crispy makes a prediction that he does not re-sign with Miami and that he signs elsewhere in free agency.
It would have to be next season because
Yeah.
he's going to play out his contract. But I hate that for him though, because I know he just wants to be, stable and he just I just think he belongs there. But I would love him on the Clippers, but wherever he goes, he's going to alienate people. So that's just buyers beware if he ever does go elsewhere.
Well, typically every team has that one player, that one superstar on their team that likes to alienate because
That's me on C2C.
because you have to
I've alienated all of y'all at one point.
You have to have that one leader that's going to really, step up and not take the overall BS. And I think Jimmy Butler's probably that guy. And I think a lot of people don't like it. Maybe that's what will scare some teams off or whatever. But it shouldn't, because Jimmy Butler is a superstar. If you remember years back when the Raptors went on to win their first NBA championship, and who did they end up beating in the playoffs? They ended up beating Jimmy Butler's team, and I'll tell you,
76.
Yeah, it was the 76ers, and it was only because Jimmy Butler had his shot go in, roll around the rim, and then come out. That was the only reason. That was the only reason why the Raptors went on to win the NBA championship, because the Raptors were actually beat. Jimmy Butler should have made that shot. It just rolled around and came back out. I'm sure you remember that.
Sure. I remember Kawhi Leonard's one better though.
Really?
Yeah, the one for Game 7, and it took a few bounces, and it bounced in, and Toronto went crazy because they ended up going to the third round and then the championship and winning it all.
Yeah.
So I remember Kawhi's shot more than I do Jimmy Butler's miss.
But if you go back, you will look and you'll go back and you'll be like, oh, that Jimmy Butler big miss. That if Jimmy Butler doesn't miss, the Raptors don't win that game. They don't go on. They don't win the NBA championship.
Thank God for that.
Jimmy Butler just had to win that one, make that one shot. He makes that one shot. It's a brand new NBA Finals. That's what I can say. And the Raptors don't go on to win that.
Okay.
All right. I just wanted to throw that out there, Chris, and just say that if you forgot, go ahead and go back and check it out, and you'll be like, oh yeah, I remember that shot now. All right, going into our next topic here, we're bringing one, and this one was interesting to me also, because people are saying that this is probably one of the more dumber ideas that the owners have had, but because of the outrageous, money that NFL quarterbacks are asking for, because we know that the salary cap is just for the quarterbacks are going up and up and up and up and up and up. I mean, Baker Mayfield just got a ton of money. Trevor Lawrence just got a ton of money. And we know that even freaking Dak Prescott, who hasn't done anything in the playoffs, is saying he wants his money, but he wants more money than he got last time. Yes. And then Derek Carr, he signed a massive contract. He's getting a ton of money. So there's people who are saying, yes, this is a dumb idea, and they're worried that if they try and push this, that this could lead to a lockout. So, James, let me ask you, do you think that this is a dumb idea, or do you think this is, this might help the salary cap issue because of how much money that the quarterbacks are looking for?
I love this idea because too many times you have a quarterback like Brock Osweiler get signed by the Texans. And they gave him so much damn money. And he didn't even play, I think, 2 years with Houston. He ended up, I think back in Denver or something. I don't remember, but it's just little moments like that, like Derek Carr getting it from the Raiders and then one and done, basically, knowing that they could cut him. I guess that's the safety blanket the owners have, where it's like, okay, we have to give you that money, and it's going to go against us, but at least you won't be here to continually fail for us. I know the person in Square 2 knows all about him and Dak Prescott, how many times he's failed in the postseason, and the money that he wants is just stupid. So I really hate that now look, football is a difficult sport, and you're trying to get out of the rookie contract at any position. You're trying to get out of that rookie contract, get as much as you can. But when there's a point where quarterbacks, 3 years in, 4 years are holding out, and and you can't trade them, because then you'll be looked at like the worst owner, the worst GM in the world. Imagine like if Joe Burrow got traded or Trevor Lawrence got traded. They haven't done much. I know Burrow went to the Super Bowl, but he's often injured. Trevor Lawrence had one great year, and we'll talk about the Jags, coming up next. But I just hate that the quarterbacks are getting paid so fast and so much. It's not a good way to do business. And finally, the owners are stepping up and saying something, kind of, brush back. So I really like it. I compare this to the NBA. You know how players get that max level deal, the super max deals, whatever the case is, and they don't deserve it. It just happened with Brooklyn. The Nets gave Nick Claxton, one of their bigs, a 4-year, $100 million deal, and he's not worth that whatsoever. He's not worth $25 million a year. He's more like 15, but it's just because everything keeps going up. That's the problem. The owners see it. So yeah, I know it's not going to happen, but I wish there was a salary cap on the quarterbacks. Just remember Sam Bradford got all that money. It started out with his rookie contract in 2009 with 10 with the St. Louis Rams, where he was the last quarterback to get paid, and then they put a cap on the rookie contracts. I think this is like evolution, where it's like, hey, people are getting paid too much, and quarterbacks are getting paid too much and not proving anything. Now, hey, if you're out here like Patrick Mahomes and you're winning 3 Super Bowls, whatever the case is, back to back, then yeah, you deserve that money. But it's just too much for too little, and right away it's just stupid. So I wish there was a quarterback salary cap on quarterback salaries, but I just don't see it happening. The huge deals by Herbert, Burrow, Trevor Lawrence, they're just really they're just raising my eyebrows every time I see the money go up, and it's just there's too many examples of it not working out right away, and the lone wolf is Patrick Mahomes. So I hope it happens, but I don't think it's going to happen. The Players Association, DeMaurice Smith, he's going to complain about it if it ever went into effect. And yeah, we'll have a stoppage like we did some years ago in 2012 or whenever it was, and we'll have Jerry speaking, and we'll have Goodell speaking, and just think about this too. Yeah, Deshaun Watson got all that damn money. Of course, he had to pay a lot of it off, but what made you think he deserved to make that much money when he signed the contract with the Browns? And guess what? That strapped the Browns from, trying to sign someone. I know they traded for Jerry Jeudy, but they're stuck in cap hell because of the Watson contract. So, again, I hope it happens, but it undoubtedly will not happen. Undoubtedly will not happen. There you go.
Yeah, but going back to what you were saying there, I think that's why people hate the idea, is because they're worried that if they did something like that, there would be this huge lockout, because a lot of players would be like, hold on, you're putting a cap on the amount of money that we can make. And in my opinion, I'm with you, James. I really think that there needs to be some kind of cap with quarterbacks that you can say no. There's a max extension that you can sign, and you got to leave it at that max extension, because then the quarterbacks want more, the running backs want more, the receivers want more, and everything just goes up and 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 up, and it's getting harder and harder for owners.
Think about this. What Jordan Love signed for or wants. What was his contract?
He wants they're estimating that Jordan Love's contract is going to be around $200 million.
And he gets one more year on his rookie deal, right?
So it's not technically his rookie deal. He actually signed an extension for like a year extension. So
I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you think he deserves the $200 million just based off of a 1 year starting at Green Bay?
Off of 1 year, I would say no.
Mhm.
I would say based off of 1 year, no. But you know that's what he's going to land. He's gonna end up landing that.
It's just bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, let me ask you this. Let's play this little game right here. We're gonna do a J Love comparison game, since we were talking about him quick. And yes, I will get your opinion on this, James, and then I'll even ask you. So we'll go ahead and we'll start with J Love on this one. So, and we'll kind of go around the north, and we'll kind of work our way towards, we'll work our way around the NFC, and then kind of go towards the AFC. So you have J Love. Okay, we'll start with the West. Would you rather have J Love, or would you rather have Geno Smith?
J Love.
Okay,
Same.
Crispy.
Yeah. Same.
J Love. Okay, would you rather have J Love, or would you rather have Kyler Murray?
J Love.
Love.
Okay, would you rather have J Love, or would you rather have Brock Purdy?
Purdy.
Ooh. I don't want to say anything yet, because
That's the thing, we don't know yet. We got to see when certain talent leaves the 49ers.
that was why I was saying that with Purdy, because I don't want to say that with Purdy yet, because we don't know what Purdy could do without those guys.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, looking at it now, yeah, Purdy. But that could change a year to whatever.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Would you rather have Love, or would you rather have Stafford?
Stafford.
I think Stafford's getting up there. So I would have Love for now.
Okay. So right now you currently have one person over Love at the moment. So now let's go to the NFC East. Would you rather have Love, or would you rather have Dak?
Love.
Well,
Oh, wow.
I was undecided for a second.
Wow. Okay. Would you rather have Love, or would you rather have Hurts?
Love.
Love, because he stays in the pocket. He doesn't run like Hurts does and hurts himself. No pun intended.
Would you rather have Love, or would you rather have Daniel Jones?
Love. It's easy.
All right. Would you rather have Love, or would you rather have Jayden Daniels? And I know that's a trick question because you haven't seen it. Okay. So
I think I'll take I'll take Love over any quarterback from Washington.
Let's go to the South. Would you rather have Love, or would you rather have Bryce Young?
Love.
Okay. Would you rather have Love, or would you rather have Kirk Cousins?
Love. He's cheaper.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you rather have Love, or would you rather have Derek Carr?
Love.
Okay. Would you rather have Love, or would you rather have Baker?
Love.
Okay. Would you rather have Love or would you rather have Jared Goff?
Whoa, that's the tough one. And Jarrett got paid too. He went to Jarrett, or he can now. No, I want Jared Goff. I want Jared Goff.
Yeah, Goff.
You're going with Jared Goff?
Yeah, I want Jared Goff.
Would you rather have Love or the current starter for Minnesota is Sam Darnold?
Love.
Okay. Would you rather have Love or would you rather have Caleb Williams?
Love.
Okay. So based on this game on the NFC side, so if you went to the NFC side, right now you have Love as the top 3 quarterback in the NFC.
Just because of his contract and just because of what I saw. And the NFC has just a lot of quarterbacks that you cannot trust, mainly in that, in the NFC West for now, and the NFC East too. But in the West, you look at, Kyler Murray and how much he got paid too. That's ridiculous. And I know everybody's trying for that prototype quarterback who can do it with his legs as well as his arm, but the attitude, I can't stand him. And then there's just so many bad quarterbacks in the NFC.
Yeah, but my point of that was we were talking about his salary and how much he would make. Now you're taking Love and you're calling him a top 3 quarterback in the NFC because you're saying I would take him over, a lot of these other guys. Well, these guys are making roughly around that or more than that. So because of that,
he has to be put in.
Exactly. He has to be put in that category.
One more year of work, and then we'll see if he does it.
Right? All right. So we'll drop this one down. We will go to our next one here. And this next one, speaking of, maybe fun a little bit because we're going to be talking about Jacksonville, and we know exactly what Shad Khan had to say. He said that he called the 2023 collapse an organizational failure and says it can't happen again. Now, we have talked a lot about quarterbacks tonight, about the owners wanting quarterback salary cap and things like that. That 2023 collapse, though, do you kind of look at, is it time to maybe look at Trevor Lawrence and say, maybe he's not the guy that maybe a lot of people thought he was? Or is 2023 an actual, all-around just Jacksonville collapse? Because you know how well they started. It was 7-3 when they started, and they just went on that massive nosedive. And that was roughly around the time that Trevor Lawrence had that ankle injury, and he was trying to play through it. So maybe it had to do with a little bit with an ankle injury. But from the get-go, when Trevor Lawrence came in, it wasn't – I don't know. I just feel like he hasn't lived up to that hype that everybody thought that he was supposed to. So – James, do you feel like he really hasn't lived up to that hype? And is 2023, can you kind of put this blame on Trevor Lawrence? Or do you say, yeah, this was an organizational failure?
It's just funny. We were talking about quarterbacks who got paid and Trevor Lawrence too much too soon. I feel like the pressure was put on him too much too soon, but he's playing the most heralded position in professional sports at quarterback, and he's a dreaming quarterback that everybody loves, but he would lose them games. He would try to make plays with his legs and fumble a lot. They had some late losses that killed him late in games, and then some games they were blowing out, and it was just a shocker to see Houston overtake him. That was just crazy. So with Khan, I know he was passing around the blame, and you can see that too, because not only on the field but off the field, when you really think about it, Amit Patel, the former Jaguar financial manager, was sentenced to 78 months in federal prison after pleading guilty to stealing more than $22 million from the NFL franchise through its virtual credit card program. So it's not only on the field, it's off the field. Calvin Ridley on the field, receiver. I had him as the NFL Comeback Player of the Year. He did not perform well in his first half of the season last year. So I think that really hurt him too. The defense was giving up a lot of points. Their secondary is really bad. The offensive line could not keep Lawrence upright. That was really bad. Too much pressure on ETN Jr. carrying the ball too much. That kind of hurt him. And I feel like they have signed so many receivers, and I think they signed Gabe Davis as well from the Bills. So they're continuing to throw money at these receivers from other teams who were, either in the slot or they were second or third fiddle. They weren't the first guys wherever they were. So it's kind of a unbalanced offense. And Khan also mentioned too, the offensive play calling should have been switched in a way, I think, to not Doug Peterson, but to the offensive coordinator at the time. I think that should have been the case as well. Press Taylor, excuse me, I didn't know that was his name, but I think he weighed in saying, I don't want to tell people, but we need to do things differently. And remember, the play calling was going back and forth from, the offensive coordinator to Doug Peterson, and he couldn't handle it because he's got the whole responsibility of the whole team. So I think it was just a bad situation all over. Lawrence was injured, by the way, 4 different times last year. So that was just a bad situation too. I know they won on a Monday night against Cincinnati, and some random quarterback won that game for him, but injuries kind of failed him too. I think it fails everyone. So I think they just had the worst avalanche, and that's weird saying that in Jacksonville, Florida, but it felt like an avalanche of things on and off the field for the Jags last year. And maybe they're one-year wonders. Maybe they spent too much on receivers. They gave Lawrence too much money. But guess what? They had to because of that quarterback, level of money going up. So they felt like they had to do it. Khan definitely has the money, but it was just a plethora of things that went wrong for him that hopefully doesn't happen again. But the same thing could happen to the Houston Texans this year. I mean, they went out, they had a surprising 2023. They went out and got Stephon Diggs, who can, poison your team and your locker room. They might do the same thing next year. It just comes with the business of pro football.
Yeah, I get it, but do you feel like maybe some of that collapse in 2023 was because of Trevor Lawrence's injury?
Yeah.
Because he wasn't the same quarterback after he injured his ankle.
Yeah, he wasn't able to make plays on the run, get out of the pocket, and that's going to hurt him when he's a one-trick pony, and everybody knows it on the defensive line and the linebackers, and everybody knows it. So again, I blame injuries mostly, but it's just a lot of damn things went wrong, and again, all the blame really goes on the quarterback and then trickles down to the coaches. And I expect if they have another bad year, I think Doug Peterson will get fired. Doug Peterson will get fired. I really believe that.
So you're saying that Doug Peterson could get fired, but at some point in time, if this doesn't work, if Jacksonville, starts out strong again, and then they have another collapse, and then the year after they're bad again, and then the year after they are bad again. At what point in time, I'm just saying, how many years would you give it until Khan finally looks at Jacksonville and say, you know what? Maybe it's time to move on from Trevor Lawrence.
It would be at least 4 years from now. They would have to have someone in place to start behind him either drafting someone late in rounds. They would have to like sneak them in and just, have them ready just in case. But usually when you give a guy that much money, you got to play him no matter what, no matter the struggles. You have to play him unless it's like a total collapse of judgment and error, focus. The mentalities just change with Trevor Lawrence. I don't think that's going to happen, but if it gets worse, next couple of years, you might have some rumblings like, hey, you gave him all that damn money, and the continual losing continues to happen. So maybe a new playbook would help, a new offensive mind would help. I don't know, but a lot of things have to go right for the Jaguars. I'm getting raided by the police, by the way, right now.
Oh yeah, he's getting raided. So it's like, but I kind of look at this too, and then I think okay, you can even look at the Chargers in a situation like that too. Like, look at the Chargers, and they paid Herbert a lot of money. But what they did to Herbert was they took all of his weapons and they took all of his weapons away, and they are not giving him much. Trevor Lawrence had weapons. They gave him weapons. It didn't work. Now, did Justin Herbert have weapons? Yes, he did. But last year, I don't really blame that on him. He ended up getting injured, missed a lot of the season. Quentin Johnson wasn't the guy like he was supposed to be so far. Had a rough rookie season. A lot of the unsuccessful seasons that the Chargers have had, I think people put too much on Justin Herbert.
Right.
I think they blamed him too much for it when their defense was never that good, never had a good offensive line, never had a great running game, never had any of that really. And Herbert played his ass off.
Yeah, was it Keenan Allen and Mike Williams? They both got injured at some point.
Yes.
And that just threw him out of, trying to make something happen with other receivers that they had, like Palmer. Quentin Johnson did have a good late games in the season, but nothing where he was drafted. And, with Harbaugh now, they're going to run the ball more. They're going to alleviate the pressure off of Herbert, despite making all that money. They're going to give it to their horses to run, and that's going to open up the playbook and open up clarity for Justin Herbert, hopefully, but hopefully not.
Yeah, and my point of bringing that up, though, was that if people are looking at Herbert and saying, this is Herbert's fault, this is Herbert's fault, this is Herbert's fault, that things are going wrong, why don't people look at Trevor Lawrence then and be like, hey, something isn't right here? They're not succeeding because Trevor Lawrence he's not putting up the numbers like he should as a number one overall pick. He's not putting up the numbers. And last year, he had receivers. He did.
What does Chris think about all this?
Yeah, we're getting there.
Enough of me.
Yeah, Chris.
Yeah, no, I mean, it depends on how the season goes. Like you guys said, if it's successful at the start, they'll keep going with it. What they're doing. But if it fails, I can see Lawrence getting benched, and then maybe your coach, leaving, getting fired. You're kind of rebuilding, so it kind of goes both ways. But maybe it's just a 1 year where things just didn't work out.
But, Crispy, the thing is, though, it hasn't just been 1 year for Jacksonville. It's been multiple years with Jacksonville. Multiple years. And that's why even James said they could just be that one-hit wonder. When they made it to the championship game that 1 year, and then that was pretty much it after that. And then it was like a nosedive. They could be that one-hit wonder. Maybe Trevor Lawrence is just, like we're saying, it's just not that guy. Is Khan wrong for calling 2023 an organizational failure? I mean, he's not he's not wrong. When you start a season 7-3, you expect a team to at least make a wild card.
It's his team, and he could say whatever he wants to.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm saying though, you would expect a team to make a wild card when you start 7-3, at least making a wild card. You would expect that. They couldn't even they wouldn't even do that. So when he says it can't happen again, we know that changes will come, whether it be Peterson, whether it be Trevor Lawrence, whether it be the entire coaching staff. We don't know. We don't know exactly what the changes would come. But I'm with you both on the one thing, that if it does happen again, Peterson is going to be gone. They won't keep Peterson around. Who else will go with him? I don't know. But you know that there will be changes. 100% will be changes. All right, well, we're at the point in the show now to where that's pretty much it. Pretty much wrapping it up. Just really quick, I was going to do this little trivia thing here. It's really easy.
Yes.
And I just want to see if
Watch I get it wrong.
See how fast either one of you could get this without looking it up. There are currently four teams in baseball that have the same that starts with the same letter in their first name and last name. What are those 4 teams?
Cleveland. No. Shit.
New York Yankees.
Nope.
The Chicago Cubs.
Yep.
Let's see. This should be easy. I don't know why I'm struggling.
Exactly. You think it would be easy, and when I did it too, I'm like, oh, it's gonna be easy, and then I'm like, oh wow.
There was the Boston Braves, but that's a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Miami Marlins.
Okay. All right, James, you got 20 seconds. You got 20 seconds.
Oh, I'm not gonna get in 20 seconds. The Philadelphia Phillies and the Pittsburgh Pirates for the win.
You got it. You got it within the 20-second mark.
Oh.
You got it. Oh, that you got that.
There we go. That was fun.
You got that. Crispy, your question is: there is 3 teams in the MLB that have 3 letters in their logo.
New York Yankees.
No.
New York Mets.
No.
Yeah. Well, it depends on the logo, I think. They have 3 letters in their name or their logo.
And their logo, like you can look on their hats and you can see that has the.
Oh my god! Oh no, that's what the.
You look at their hat and they have 3. There's 3 teams that have 3 letters on their hat.
3 letters. Wow.
I don't.
A lot of them just have 2.
Or just the logo itself.
Right.
I don't
PBR,
know. I only see the logo. And the Mets do have.
They have NY, just like the Yankees.
It depends on how you read it, I guess.
Yeah. NY. It's interlocking like San Diego, San Francisco, Los Angeles. Angels just have the A with the halo. Okay, yeah. I know. Are we talking about City Connects?
No, just in general, I think.
Okay, City Connects, Milwaukee has MKE. Why is this so difficult? Wow.
I don't even know.
Orioles just have the O with the Oriole.
I'm gonna go with none.
What the 3. The White Sox just have SOX. That can't be one. Washington has a W. Texas has the T. Houston has the H with the star. Cubs are a C. The Reds are a C. Royals? Is that one?
No.
KC? Oh yeah. KC is there. Miami? No, Miami's just the M with the fish. Minnesota is the star. Oakland is the A. What the hell?
I don't know.
Phillies, Pirates, Padres, Mariners have the S. I'm stunned.
There you go. So you have St. Louis right here.
Oi! St. Louis. Yep, STL.
You actually have.
See, I said Mets and Yankees.
That's NY.
That's NY. That's not 3, bud.
Okay, Cardinals
Sox,
is 1.
Sox.
Wait, I said White Sox.
Yep. Yeah. So
but,
you did get that one.
Okay, that's what I figured. But what's the last one?
And then
it's not Milwaukee because that's MB.
Nope.
With the ball.
Colorado
CR.
There might have been. Sorry, there might have been only 2. But
well, I got one. Yeah, because I don't see another one.
Yeah. So there was only 2, but that one, when I did that one too, I'm like, dang, that one was hard. That one was extremely hard.
Mostly everyone's 2 or 1.
Yeah, but it's just St. Louis and the White Sox.
I kept thinking city with the team name, and then I thought White Sox is the only one I know with 3. And then Cardinals is like they hide the T. It's like really small.
The T's a really small T, but it's between the S and L. It's like it's hidden right there. So it's hard. But James, it was cool that you remembered the 4 teams that had the same first.
So I was thinking like, okay, Pittsburgh Pirates or Philadelphia Phillies. Oh yeah, Pittsburgh Pirates. And then I hate the Miami Marlins because I liked them when they were Florida. So, but I had to say, oh yeah, Miami. And then Cubs, that just rolls together so well, and I love it. And then of course I was going back with Boston Braves because I remember that. And then after that, I couldn't think of any more after that. From the past, right. I can't think of any more.
Well, we are at that point now. So, with that being said, James, go ahead and give us your final thoughts for the evening.
Thank you for everybody who watched. Tomorrow, Crispy Bacon, are we doing On Deck?
Yeah.
At 7 p.m., we're going to switch it from Sunday to Thursday. Sundays are just not good for me. There's an old song called Sundays Will Not Be the Same. Sunday Will Not Be the Same by the mom. No. Who was it by? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Who the hell is it by? Spanky and Our Gang. There we go. Sunday Will Never Be the Same. It's from the 60s. I'm weird. But Sundays will never be the same. My schedule isn't. And we're going to move On Deck to Thursdays. Entertainment on Fridays. If you get sick of seeing my face, I don't blame you. The next 3 days, we're going to have a lot of programs for you. And we already have a bunch of topics. I've been destroying the chats of the Entertainment Hour, which, by the way, thank you, Chris, for creating that. I've been wanting to, but I thought, damn, there's so many groups here. But yeah, we're gonna have a lot of topics for both On Deck. I just sent you one too in the chat, and then for Entertainment Hour, it's gonna be pretty fun, of course, with Randy. And I hope that people tune in and get their fill of baseball like you did tonight, and then a lot of entertainment news and passings and trivia.
All right, Crispy Bacon.
Yeah, thanks, everyone, for watching. Tune in. We'll be back next week for another Sports Minute. But yeah, changing up On Deck to Thursday. we'll have Entertainment Hour Friday. So stay tuned to Coast and Coast.
All right, and thank you for watching. And we do plan on, so far, the plan is to have Kicking It also. So with that being said, we will catch you all tomorrow. With that, have a good night, and we will see you soon.